Welcome Ganesh Rajagopalan. Ganesh Rajagopalan, Grammy Award winner 2024. The moment finally arrived.
Namaste, namaste.
The
Namaste
moment
ji.
has finally arrived for this great maestro, exponent of violin. Somebody who has mastered the craft over decades. You would be surprised to know that this gentleman has been playing for almost half a century. And finally, not only his brother Kumaresh Rajagopalan, I must mention, and they have a family and a family tradition of producing great artists like most of these great artists. Yesterday I was talking to Silva Ganesh. I was also talking to Pandit Rakesh Chaurasia ji. They all have a tradition in the family. I'm sure it rubs on to the kids, and the generations as they progress. Kumaresh, along with his wife Jayanti ji, who is a acclaimed Veena player. So this trio forms a kind of an enviable trio in the music industry, especially in the Carnatic segment. Awarded for Grammy 2024 for the album, The Moment Has Arrived, and along with Zakir Hussain, Ustad Zakir Hussain, Selva Ganesh, then this guitarist, it's very difficult for me to pronounce his name,
John
McLaughlin.
McLaughlin.
Yeah, and there is Shankar Mahadevan, no one lesser than Shankar Mahadevan, the great vocalist, from India. So they, as a team, have the Shakti band. The band called Shakti in the 45th year has finally, after having produced this inexplicably wonderful album called The Moment, they have been awarded the Global Album of the Year by the so-called musical Oscars. I mean, the Oscar for music, as the Grammys are known as. And Ganesh Rajagopalan is no stranger to accolades coming his way, because right from his early childhood days, he was, he has mesmerized the greats like M.G. Ramachandran, Ilayaraja. A.R. Rahman always said that he loves to stay in Chennai because Ganesh and Kumar stay there. I mean, what better comments can come? Ganesh, I will keep speaking about you. This is our job. But I'll now hand it over to you. Take us through your journey in brief. And then, we will progress with interjections as we talk about music, Grammy, and the way forward for you and the country as well, as far as the performing arts, the soft power of India is concerned. Over to you, Pandit Ganesh Rajagopal.
Namaste, namaste to everyone. And so happy to be here. See, what I want to say is I want to give all the credit to my dad, who is also my guru, my dad and my guru. So he was the one I've always idolized from the beginning, and the way he taught me, the way he groomed me, mentored me, and I really am grateful to him for doing all this for me, and that I am playing music because of him. Because he was a great, not only that, he was a great musician himself, but he also imparted in a way that it could motivate me and inspire me to practice, which is a very important aspect of every musician's life. Because sadhana, it's more like a tapas. You have to go through the process of doing tapas. Because everyone, as I would always say, everyone has music in them. It is only through sadhana and tapas that you can bring it out. So, yeah. So that for that, I really want to give that credit to my dad, my guru, for inculcating the greatest thing necessary for producing music, that is practice.
How many hours of practice, tapasya, penance, how many hours of practice as a growing child did you have to do, and still you do, so that you can reach where you are today?
So even as a child, my father would challenge me with things like, practice this 100 times, 200 times. And he would give me 4 or 5 notes and ask me to make combinations in that. And he would go out he'll come back only after 2 3 hours. So till that time, I will have to produce. By the time he comes, I should have at least produced something for 5 10 minutes without any stop, without any mistakes. I should have produced that. So unless I do that, um, because I want to make him happy and be happy also, both. And it is like, that's what I'm saying. He just motivated me to do, inspired me to do that in the way that he wanted me to do. And he was a very he's also a great people's person in a way that he would somehow make the get the best out of you. So that way it was a very fruitful childhood for me, because
But
I could
apart
get.
from pleasing your father, and doing your duty as a child, which probably again is an offshoot of the cultural upbringing that you people in the South are well known for, especially when the times when technology had not taken over families.
Yeah.
So during those times, apart from the motivation to please your father, what else motivated you in terms of a kid? Did career prospects, did money, did the glamour glitz of the classical world? Were you exposed to that? And did that, somehow affect your motivation towards completing the tasks given to you? Because those are challenging issues. What you
Yes.
achieve today is fine. Many people will achieve a lot of things in life, but the process is the most important thing.
Absolutely. Yeah, we were very lucky that way, because even as children, we were exposed to performing on stage, and getting the accolades and lot of appreciation from not only audiences, but also from music connoisseurs and other people, rasikas. They used to love our music, and that was also a motivating factor, because my father used to say that every day that you perform is an exam for you. So you have to pass that exam. That passing of the exam comes only when the audience appreciates your music. So that also kind of inspired us to, uh, you know, uh, and he would always say, don't keep on playing the same thing. You should try to play something new all the time. So you have to create, you have to improvise, you have to do things um, which can also help you to grow as a musician. You can grow audiences, that's one thing, by playing well. But you should also grow as a musician, for which you always should be creating, learning new things, and practicing new things, working towards new ideas, um, and working towards doing something new by
Ganesh, who
doing
was the
create.
first great, kind of celebrity you performed in front of, which, because in your memories, probably somebody you can remember, the one of the greatest celebrities you performed, first, for experiences.
I know, first time, okay, when I was like very, very young, I don't know actually. But I remember that when we were 10, I was 10 and my brother was around 8. Um, 9 and 7, I think. We performed in Chennai, because that's the heart of where Carnatic music is. So when we performed there, our the chief guest was the one of the greatest musician, Srimati D.K. Pattamal, and and her husband, both of them, Ishwar and Mama, both of them were the chief guests for that function. But when my father and my father's friend, who was the man behind that concert, he made sure that we have to get a chief guest. So he went and approached Srimati D.K. Patamal. And when he approached her and told them that these are kids of 9 and 7, they did not take it too seriously, because he was very adamant that they should come. He said, okay, I'll come for half an hour and bless the kids, and then we will have to go because we have some other engagement. But she came and she was there for the entire 3 hour concert, and she blessed us and then she went. So that was one of the greatest moment in our life. It was, it's getting when we say something, you should get the word from the sage Vasishta. uh, you have to get the title of Brahma Rishi from sage Vasishta. So they say, Vasishtar Vayala Brahma Rishi, they say. So like that, it is like, getting that, accolade
But
from
that is
such a
something which,
great
but
one
that
of.
is something which is attributed to Mr. Ilayaraja, who bestowed upon the title of, the musical Brahma Rishis on you and Kumaresh.
No, no, we are not to that level. It is just that, getting at that point of time, getting the blessings of such a great Vidushi, it's one of the greatest achievements I've felt. I mean, those things have been the ones which keeps us going. These are very important stuff for any musician, because music itself, you cannot see music, you can only hear music. And when that part is, when somebody says, wow, it's great, I mean, that's what keeps you going.
Okay,
It's
apart from
not.
your father, any contemporary artists or artists from those times when you were a kid, as you were growing up, who influenced you, especially from the instruments perspective, the violence perspective?
Yeah, all those great vidwans who were there. See, when we were very young, when we were performing in the 70s and 75, 76 and all that, at that point of time, we have somebody called a trio, violin trinity. Sri T.N. Krishnan, Sri M.S. Gopalakrishnan, Sri Lal Guru Jayaraman. All the three of them were called the trinity of violin playing. So these people were at their top, at the top of their career. So to get something going even getting concerts was such a huge thing, because uh, getting concerts itself for instruments is very tough. At that time, these people were playing so well, and we were, as children, we got a lot of opportunities. That's a huge blessing for us. I mean, I'm saying all this because I every day feel that the grace of our Periva, no? Periva is our guru, and we call him the Nadamadum Dev, the walking God. Mahapariva is called walking God, the Kanchi Paramacharya. His blessings I feel every moment of our life, because unless if for especially for music, unless there is a gift, you cannot reach anyone. Even you can sing your heart out, but to reach the next person is, unless there is that gift, it will not happen.
M.S. Gopalakrishnan ji was somebody who's known as probably the greatest violin exponent who mastered the art of both branches of Shastriya Sangeetam.
Absolutely.
And Gopal Krishnan ji, somebody, did you get a chance to also learn from him?
No, I learned only from my dad. So I should tell you this, because for his 80th birthday, MSG's 80th birthday, he called us actually, and he told us that he wanted Ganesh Kumaresh to perform at his 80th birthday felicitation function. And he said, it is because you are the best.
And how old were you?
That was it was little while back, 15 years back or something. Actually, you know what? On that day, we had a performance in Sydney. We had on that when he asked, we had a performance in Sydney. So we couldn't say no to him, because he's one of the what do you say, that he's one of the greatest musicians that India has produced. So we couldn't say no. So we kind of postponed that concert and stayed back and played the concert.
I mean, that's all I understand. Anybody from the Hindustani music as fraternity who has influenced you a lot, in a few names from the Hindustani side?
Everyone, I mean, like I tell you, N. Rajam, Srimati N. Rajam. She's she's one of India's what do you say, the best violinists in India, the one that they have produced. So Srimati N. Rajam is one of that greatest violin players. She is. Then Ustad Bismillah Khan, Pandit Ravi Shankar. We had the great opportunity of playing, and he came to our concert, and he's so much blessed us. Like that was some time back when we played in San Diego, he was there. Then we played at his Ravi Shankar Foundation that is in Delhi. And we played and he wanted us to come and perform in his orchestra. He personally called us. So we went and performed there.
On stage, any artists, the top names that you performed with from the Hindustani circuit?
Sultan Khan Saab, then we have played quite a lot with Ustad Zakir Hussain Saab. And also with Ustad Shafat Ahmad Khan. He played with us a few times. Otherwise in that generation, we didn't have because we were already playing as a duet, right? So we played as a duet, and we have always played like that. And we have not performed with any of the melodic instrumentalists.
Have you got a chance to work in the, you see, we keep hearing about Mr. L. Subramaniam as one of the guys who plays violin a lot for the movie industry. Did you perform a lot, or did you get chances to perform for the movie industries in South, or probably in the Bombay film industry?
Yeah, performed quite a lot. Quite a lot with A.R. Rahman, Ilayaraja, Keeravani. And Keeravani and Rajamouli films have done most of the films.
Means
had
this
his
Bahubali is your music?
No. Bahubali, I was not. He called me. I was already in the US at that point of time, so I couldn't play. After that, I mean, the last movie was that Ega. Ega means that what is that movie with that fly? Remember that fly? He made a movie with a fly and taking revenge. That was the
And
last
why don't
movie.
we see too much of you, especially in, I mean, you guys seem to be performing a lot, overseas and offshore, much more than in India. Do you think it is
Really? I
because
don't
the
think so.
acceptability factors outside India are much more than India? Because we people really need to gear up to our own strength of classical music.
Yeah, we go and play wherever we are called to play. That's all. I mean, we play quite a lot in India. It's only for the past few years I'm here. Otherwise, I've been in India and Chennai, and even now I travel to Chennai quite a lot. I mean, come to India quite a lot, 3 or 4 times. And before the pandemic came, uh, we were traveling a lot in India. And all. It's after the pandemic that the number of times that I come to India and perform has really come down. Otherwise, I've been playing quite a lot.
Did you get a chance to work with great singers like Chitra, Lata Mangeshkar, S.P. Balasubramaniam?
See, the thing is, I'll tell you one thing. What has happened is over the years, um, we want to do a lot for instrumental music. So what we have done is we have created new dimensions, new genres in which we can perform instrumental music in a way that people accept it more, or that it can cross boundaries. Because what has happened is over the years, it's become instrumental playing has become a niche kind of thing, that not a lot of people think that only a few people can understand instrumental music, not all of them. It's only voice that is important. What I would say is that it's not so. It is from the instrument the voice comes in, not from the voice to instrument. Voice is for speaking, for taste, and all that. For singing, it's only through instruments and other things you get inspired to come out with something and speak. Instead of speaking, you sing. Instruments are these signs behind music. That is why you see in our pantheon of gods, like goddess Saraswati, she has the veena, right? And Lord Krishna has a flute. He doesn't sing, he plays the flute. Lord Shiva is the dhamaru. You know what? It's in the Maheshwara Sutra. It's the dhamaru. The playing of the dhamaru is what gave us all the syllables of the language. So it is through the sound of an instrument that even the syllables of the language came about. So the rhythmic sound of the damaru is what, that's an instrument, right? So what I'm trying to say is all our gods play instrumental music. And you know who sings? Narada, Tumburu, Meera, all these devotees. All these devotees sing in praise of those instrumental playing gods. So singers sing in praise of the instrumental musician. So it means that instrumental musician is at the top and not voice. So
Probably
you have
that
to
is the
see that.
reason. Probably that is the reason why probably the parents of Mr. Shankar Mahadevan thought of that kind of name. Because you see, he's named by the for the in the as the gods, and he's a singer, so he's probably taking care of both the aspects of music.
Yeah, I can also sing. Anybody who plays an instrument properly, they can sing. The vice versa is not possible. A singer cannot play an instrument unless he learns it. An instrumental musician can sing even without learning vocal music.
Okay, now take us through a little bit, because we have to be also taking care of the time aspect. What is the the X factor which makes people like you reach the pinnacle of musical glory like you've done now?
That's all blessings. I don't know anything about music. It's all, so when I say that the communication of music happens, the so there is a distance between you as a performer and the sound traveling to the audience, right? That traveling part is that gift. Only when you perform, that gift of the sound traveling to the audiences, and uh, that gift is there, it will reach the audiences properly. Otherwise, it will not reach. So many, that is why you see that so many people perform. They want to perform, they want to do their best, but only some people are able to reach the people, they reach the audiences, right? It's because of that gift.
Take us a little through the chemistry between your band members like Mr. Zakir Hussain, Shankar Madhavan, and all.
Zakir ji and John McLaughlin ji, they are the founders of Shakti. Their hard work, their passion for music, the art form, that is what has brought Shakti to this level. See, I'll tell you one thing. Once Zakirji told me, when they did their first album, and it was done by CBS Records. So when the CBS record people, they were thinking about marketing and all that, they asked them, which genre should we put this in? There's no genre. So it means that at that point of time, there was no something called fusion, world music. It was not there. So the Shakti was the first band which gave meaning to the word fusion. Because they didn't have this that word, that kind of music. So it was like that. They didn't know where to put that. Put the when you bring a record, they'll say classical, they'll say pop, they'll say all that. But for this, they didn't have a shelf.
Has the Indian audience
And
and has the Indian, kind of government or the Indian society acknowledged the prowess that of Shakti as a fusion band, initiator of fusion, like today you have been recognized and acknowledged by the Grammys.
yeah, last year when we toured, we had concerts in 5 major cities: Bangalore, Hyderabad, Bangalore, Bombay, Delhi, Calcutta. We had 4 shows. All shows we had about 8,000 people, 5,000 people in the audience. So Shakti is loved by the audiences. It's people love Shakti. Bombay, you live in do you live in Delhi?
Yeah.
We had about 8,000 people in the audience in Delhi when we performed last year. 23 January. So it is 2023 January. It happened on January 28th. That was my wedding day.
So, I mean, have you also been somebody who's been keen to receive awards like the Padma and the kind of accolades that are bestowed as best civilian awards in the country?
If I really deserve it, it will come to me.
Do you apply?
No, I have not. Not personally, no. I have not done it.
You guys have not applied also, right? And
Yeah.
going forward, when we talk about Indian classical music and performing arts, recently there have been a huge number of artists who have been really acknowledged by the current dispensation. And they have always been. M.S. Subbalakshmi was the first Bharat Ratna recipient from performing arts fraternity. Even now
Yeah.
today, but the unfortunate part is we have so many great artists between us even now. Padma Vibhushans, Hari Prasad Chaurasia ji, we've got
Yes.
Sonal Mansingh ji, Padma Vibhushan. We've got Yasudas, Padma Vibhushan.
Yes.
The great singer Yasudas.
Ilayaraja is,
I'm a mad fan of
Ilayaraja is also Padma Vibhushan. Yes.
on who?
Ilayaraja is also a Padma Vibhushan.
Oh, is he a Padma Vibhushan? I thought he's a Padma
Yep.
Bhushan.
No, he is Padma Vibhushan.
Oh,
Then we
man.
have Umayalpuram Shivaraman, who is one of the greatest Mridangam players. He is also Padma Vibhushan.
Oh my God, the
And
list
this
is
year
huge.
we had one of the greatest dancers, Padma Subramaniam. She was given Padma Vibhushan. And
Yeah, I
Vaijayanti
know.
Mala, she is also a Padma
Who?
Vibhushan.
Who?
Vaijayanti Malaji.
Yeah, Bayanti Malaji and Padma Subramaniam, madam, have received the Padma Vibhushan for their Bharatnatyam and
Yes,
contribution to arts. But what I'm
yes,
talking about, this is just a month back, but we've got so many Padma Vibhushans between us.
yes.
Okay, let's do a small quiz. Who is the oldest living legend with a Padma Vibhushan from the performing arts fraternity in India today?
You're asking me?
Yeah, it's a quiz. And now this is where I've got you off guard. It's Ram Narayan.
I think I
Ram
think
Narayan.
right now Vaijayanti Malaji is
Ram
the
Narayan.
old.
Ram Narayan.
Oh, Pandit Ramnayan. Okay.
Pandit Ram Narayan.
He's around 95,
He's
96.
97 and a half.
Wow.
And is due next with me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wonderful. So nice.
So, you got to congratulate us also for our research.
Absolutely. Yes, yes.
I mean, just imagine the point is we have this somebody who's almost 100 years old between us. Sarangi exponent. He's somebody
Yes,
who, but if I ask anyone, even a Ganesh Rajagopalan missed it out. Can you imagine? That is the point I'm trying
yes.
to drive. The country,
Absolutely. Yes.
in our country, Chaurasia ji, okay, I understand. I have been interacting with him. But what I am trying to say is there are so many people between us.
Yes.
They
Yes.
have to be projected by the Indian government, man. So you see, if you do not project the current generation, you people come from a musical family, but what I desire as an individual, as somebody who wants to have the right things in the right place, I would really be very happy if India can really appreciate, start acknowledging, remembering, and going back to these greats who are still between us. Then the
Yes.
next generation of the Zakir Hussains and the Ganesh Rajagopalans would step in. So what
Yes.
do you think? What do you think needs to be done to ensure that this Ram Narayan, this Vayanti Mala, okay, she was a film star, but Padma Subramaniam, how many people would be knowing her name? Today, suddenly people started talking about her. Prabha Atreji left us just a month back.
Yeah.
She was
That's
also a
true.
great exponent of music, and
Yes.
she was also a Padma Vibhushan recipient last year. So what do you think needs to be done, Ganeshji, from,
I think all schools should have music in their curriculum. As part of their curriculum, they should have one hour of music every day. And special privileges have to be given, as in sports. Special privileges have to be given to musicians also, because music and sports are very important for development of the human brain for any life, because what it gives us discipline, focus, lot of life skills. It gives you a lot of emotions, lot of creativity for anyone to go forward. So it's very important that music has to be given the same level of importance as sports is. Right now, sports is very commercial in its own way. By the same token, I think we have to give importance to music also.
One of
So
my
if we give
friends,
that,
Ravi Kiran, whom you must be knowing very well, he's
yeah,
somebody who's working on the school aspects quite strongly because
very
he's
nice.
also introduced male harmony. He's somebody who's a proponent of a concept called male harmony, and along with somebody from the Western world. Ganeshji, uh, you people are now on the global stage. You guys have made India. Zakir Hussain is no stranger to anyone, anywhere, I guess. He's somebody who was popularized by that Tata, the corporate aspect, coming and linking with for currently I remember Pandit Shiv Sharma's son Rahul Sharma being also endorsed or endorsing a Tata brand, just like Zakir Bhai did, decades back. And that made Tabla and Zakir Hussain a household name. How important is the role of corporates in India to make this happen?
Yeah, corporates now play a very big role now. I mean, it's not, we cannot complain too much as possible, if we can get their support, it'll definitely go a long way in enhancing and making the musician's life more easier. Because it's not easy to be a professional musician, right?
Kumaresh needs to
Especially
go back. Kumaresh needs to go back to his hairy days, I'm sure very soon. Because if the corporates need to catch people like him and really put them in front, instead of a sannyasi look that he is now portraying, he has to go back to the looks that you are portraying with a trendy t-shirt called Shakti. This t-shirt is this t-shirt is quite catchy and trendy. And and also now on a serious aspect, how serious are the Western world in terms of giving recognitions to performing arts in India or Indian performing arts more than just an award, probably like Grammys? Because the UN
Oh,
cultural heritage.
see, it's all about good music, The music should have emotion. Music is a universal language, okay? So that's what I feel. It's a universal language. Whether you sing, you play, you whatever, wherever. If you sing well or if you play well and you have emotion in your music, you will connect with any audience. So that's what is important. And when you play Indian music and you say you are playing Indian music, and if you cannot connect yourself with Indian music, Indians, people who are in India, then we should not bother about talking whether Western world will like our music. We should like our own music first, right? I mean, an Indian should like his music, his cultural roots.
That means it's
That's
time that
very
we should
important.
it's time that we should very soon then be having a Grammys, Indian Grammys counterpart, very soon. So that
Why
the
not? Yes.
entire world
Yes.
should try and think that let's get this award to be recognized globally,
Yes.
instead of our players going and trying being, eulogized by the Western world.
Yeah. Yeah. But
And United,
we should also give credit to the Western world for recognizing. I mean, we cannot we cannot downsize that, or no, that aspect of them recognizing that there is this music which is great. So let's appreciate that and give credit to it and give an award to it. And that's also a very important, very great aspect of the Western world.
like the
But we should also think about educating our people, and that will happen only when a child knows what our music is all about. So I
21st
think
of June,
schools,
21st
it's
of
very
June was
important that we
recognized as the
have it in our
International Music
curriculum.
Day. 21st of June has been recognized as the International Music Day by a lot of
Yeah.
countries.
Yes.
21st of June, because that is where the Prime Minister, Indian Prime Minister has also assured that it is also the day on which the International Yoga Day is celebrated.
Yes.
What are your views on having an International Music Day, probably which is proposed by India also, because France suddenly out of the blue came and proposed it, and slowly as they started lobbying, finally a lot of countries started celebrating. Almost more than 140 countries celebrate the same day. or the
Yes.
Solstice Day as the International
Yes.
Music Day. Now, what are your views? And in case you feel yes, uh, any suggestions for a particular date which could be thought of as International Music Day or a National Music Day?
Yeah, we should have our own Indian music day, no? We should have our own music day. Why not? I mean, International Music Day is anyway there. So let's also celebrate and have one day as it's to have, it'll be great to have Indian Music Day. So we celebrate Indian music on that day, and every school, college, everywhere Indian music is played. So a small way to do is that when you have lobbies in hotels and restaurants, everything, let's have Indian music there. In aircrafts, in lift, elevators, in malls, everywhere. So I recently went to the NMACC, the Anita Ambani Neeta Mukesh Ambani Cultural Center. We played there. I just went to their mall, the big mall there. So somebody was playing live flute music. So I think every mall or every elevator, everywhere you see that you play this music, then I think people will become aware. The awareness for when they hear, they should know that it's flute, it's veena, it's sitar, it's violin. They should know, right? I mean, sometimes even that is not being correctly identified by people. So at least we have to start being proud of that also. Like, I mean, this
You
is
know,
our music.
in
Why not?
silos, so you see, if we start working towards this in silos, Ganeshji, same things I have noticed, even a couple of decades back, when we used to land at the Chennai airport, especially at the Chennai airport, even during Ramachandra's time or probably Jayalalitha's time, we had that mridangam and those, I don't even know the name of the instruments, the pakhawaj, mridangams, ghatams, being played but then the same was not there in any of the other airports. We hardly found that. Recently, I find this happening in the Bengal airport, also the Kolkata airport, because Bengal again
Mm,
is a very, very culturally conscious kind of a state. So let's
yeah.
not restrict ourselves to states. I mean, Nitin Gadkari, for example, has introduced.
No, I'm not saying the states. I'm saying everywhere. I'm saying this. If
Yeah, it's
you
everywhere. I
go
mean, the culture has to come, everywhere. It has to, percolate each and every nook and corner of the society.
And every state, the beauty is in every state, there are some unique instruments which every state has, and even that can be projected. I mean, why not? I mean,
I
everything
was
has
going
to
to
be.
come to that point only. Every state should have a kind of an instrument as the state instrument. Every state
Why
should
not?
also look at a particular, probably artist. A few artists should become the brand ambassadors of each of those states from a cultural
Why
music
not?
perspective. Nitin Gadkari has recently introduced the tabla and another instrument in the siren. The beckons are gone, but the sirens need to play that particular tabla and other instruments. Secondly, sir, we've also noticed, as per your suggestion, earlier when we were growing up, every hour there used to be a raga, which used to be the most suitable raga for that hour. Prahar ke
Mm,
hisab they used to call that. So I'm sure,
mm,
malls, these places where these ragas, these instruments can be played, they have an immediate impact on the social fabric, on the mental,
absolutely.
health. So I'm
Sure.
sure your suggestions will be wonderful. Going forward, your suggestions for the generations and also your suggestion for the government.
Oh, government. No, no. I mean, they are doing everybody is doing their best. But the thing is, it's all a collective effort that will make. So I'll tell you one thing. There was one of our friends and one of our very great learned scholar. He once told me what the meaning of sabha is. We have a lot of sabhas in Chennai and in Tamil Nadu. So when he said sa means is coming together of, what is coming together? Audience, artist, and administrator, meaning the sabha runner. Okay, so who administers the sabha? So the coming together of audience and artist and administrator is what is called sa. Sa is the coming together. And Bha means it's like Bhaskara. So means when they come together, they will shine, the music will shine like the Bhaskara, like the sun. So that is what a Sabha means. So it is a collective effort of everyone, one, not one person. Just the musician putting in all the effort will not be enough. The audience have to work towards it. The people, I mean, meaning the audience who love music, they have to put in an extra effort to take it to other people. Like when you want artists to get the next generation, to teach them to next generation. Same way, the audiences should also teach it to the next generation. Same way, the Sabha people should also groom people in their own Sabhas, the youngsters, so that youngsters come into the Sabhas and take over. So it is not just musicians who have to train musicians, bring out students and all that. Everybody can bring in students. So the Rasika brings in more youngsters, and the Sabha organizers bring in more youngsters. So that everybody contributes, and music will shine because of the which.
I will try to close on the same lines, Ganesh ji. It is wonderful to have interacted with you, and there is no end to this mutual learning and sharing of ideas. This is just probably a beginning of a relationship with people like you. We've been doing this stuff for the last 4 years, trying and bring on board under the Amrit Kal series top performers in various fields. Music being an inextricable part of this entire journey, like sports. And we've got a plethora of artists from the performing arts segment who have been a part of this initiative for the last 4 years. I'm sure with your support, people like you, Zakir Hussain, Shankar Mahadevan, Selva Ganesh, Kumaresh Rajagopalan, Ravi Kiranji, all these great people who now are connected to us, I'm sure we'll be able to make India have not only a one state with a district called Ayodhya, because like Sabha, Ayodhya means invincible. Ayodhya is the word means and Yodha means without somebody who should not be fought is what the meaning of Ayodhya is. And that basically translates into invincible. To make India complete nation and Ayodhya, we need music. And no better than people like you, Zakir Hussain, to guide us all the way. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Namaste. So nice interacting.